So the Republicans are all hysterical about Joe and Hunter Biden. Would it throw a wrench into the Republicans' plans if Joe and Hunter actually volunteered to testify before Congress, or if Congress was to subpoena them and they showed up? I think it might. Consider this conversation. Check it out. Leave your comments, ding the bell, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. Senator Mitch McConnell this morning gave a speech in which he was basically, I was amazed. I was listening to it. Louise and I were running errands, and I was listening to it on the Sirius XM on the radio, and he actually called Mitch McConnell's. He said it was Mitch McConnell's scheme. That's like really cool. But you know, here's just two things that he said about this, and I want to toss one of these as a question out to you. He said, this is the first time probably a majority of Republicans have heard the whole case start to finish. And what he's talking about is the fact that these Republican members of the House and Senate, they know that Fox News is basically their echo chamber, and so they don't watch CNN, they don't watch MSNBC, they watch Fox all the time, just like Trump does. So Schumer goes on to say many of them hear it on Fox News, and we know what Fox News does. They leave out the most damning parts against the president, and they even distort some of them, which is absolutely true. I mean, if you want, for example, you want Russian propaganda, forget about RT, go to Fox News. I mean, this is where it is. So anyhow, Schumer said, by the way, and people forget this, the Republicans could call Hunter Biden on their own. They have 53 votes. You know why they don't? Because they know it will just confirm to every American that everything the president is doing and has done in this whole sad saga, everything the president's lawyers are doing, everything the Republican senators are doing is just political. Wow. Talk about taking names and kicking ass. So, you know, we'll see. And which raises the question that I said I'm tossing out to you is, should Hunter Biden, and Joe Biden for that matter, come to the Senate and testify? And I think they should. I absolutely think they should. If they don't, I mean, you know, Trump has thrown so much of this crap at Joe and Hunter Biden that it's essentially all over the lens. You know, whenever there's a discussion of Joe Biden's candidacy and presidency, you know, you can guarantee if Joe Biden becomes this party's nominee, which is, I think, looking increasingly less likely, but we'll see. But if he becomes this party's nominee, that's going to be the thing that the Republicans go after him with. I mean, you know, Trump has turned Ukraine for Joe Biden into the equivalent of, you know, Hillary Clinton's emails, which, you know, of course we know Jim Comey came out and announced the investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails, and she dropped 3 points in the polls, and that was 2 weeks before the election. So Trump is going to do the same thing. Why not get ahead of it? Why not just, you know, in open court, as it were, before the United States Senate, simply say, well, here's what happened. Have Hunter Biden tell his story about why he went on the board of Burisma. Have Hunter Biden explain what he did on the board of Burisma and whether it was him who was compensated or whether it was his law firm and how much of that money passed through and whether he considered it appropriate that, you know, probably the main reason he was on was because his dad was vice president. I think that just needs to be laid out there. And he may well come out and say, you know, I really shouldn't have done that. But it has nothing to do with my dad. I mean, that's what we've been told he would say. And then Joe Biden can go before Congress and, you know, if what he would say under oath is the same thing that he's been saying, you know, privately and publicly. And that is that, you know, his kids are adults. They're grown up. They're out in the world, you know, making their way, and he has an agreement with them that, you know, they're not going to tell each other what to do in their lives. So I think it would actually work to Joe Biden's benefit. Peggy Noonan wrote an op-ed that was published today, I believe, in the Washington Post, and in which she was, and Peggy Noonan, you know, a Republican op-ed writer, in which she's saying the same thing, and which is not conventional wisdom on the GOP side, by the way. They keep talking about wanting Hunter Biden to testify, but they actually don't want Hunter Biden to testify. If they did, they would have simply subpoenaed him. They got 53 votes, as Chuck Schumer just said. They could do it. Easy. Take 2 minutes. They could do it over the objection of every Democrat.